BeefHouse.com.
Welcome back. Paul Catalina's Top 5 today, presented as always by Texas Beef House, but also a special thanks to Black Rifle Coffee Company. You can find their link in the description below this video. We are happy to have new partners anytime. And you know what? The Texas Beef House link. You can also get that there. And don't forget, on Texas Beef House, stick 'em 10% off your first order. Top 5 players who didn't transfer. About 33% of my Top 5 seems to center around the transfer portal, whether it's basketball or football, or what teams could benefit, what teams didn't do well, what teams could do more, what's wrong with Dabo Swinney, those kind of things. But this one, we're going to reward some loyalty here. So, numero 5, Carson Beck at Georgia. This was a toss-up for me between Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers coming back at quarterback. I think Carson Beck's just done a little bit slightly better than Quinn over the whole of his career. It's so tough. It is splitting hairs because Quinn obviously got his team into, or was a big part of getting his team into the playoff last year. Carson Beck not in the playoff. Of course, the only loss was right before when they lost to Alabama. But Carson Beck should be the top quarterback ranked next year in college football and is the odds-on favorite to be the first quarterback taken in the 2025 draft. So for that, right now, I give him a slight edge. Texas fans, over Quinn Ewers, but it's like Mystic Dan winning the Kentucky Derby, just by a nose right now, and we'll see how that plays out over the season. Number 4, Texas Tech running back Taj Brooks. I went through this. I was trying to find who the best running back in the country was, in my opinion. Is it Quinshon Judkins at Ohio State now? I don't know. Is it Jaden Ott at California? There's a lot of electric playmakers at the running back position. Is it Ollie Gordon? You know what? I took Taj Brooks over Ollie Gordon. I know, Oklahoma State fans, that's going to make you wildly angry. And again, just by a nose, but I really like Taj Brooks' full skill set and what he can do, and the way that the offense should run through him this year in Lubbock should be very interesting. Again, I'm not trying to court controversy here, and Texas fans and Oklahoma State fans are already mad at me, and Oklahoma State fans, for some reason, stay in a perpetual state of upset and angry with me anyway, but I'm going to go with Taj Brooks. Again, Mystic Dan here, just by a nose. Really like what he can do, coming back, but a really good crop of running backs coming out this year in college football. Hate for them that the NFL doesn't value them the same way anymore. Number 3, the best defensive player overall on this list. There's one more defensive player, but we'll get to him in just a second. Mason Graham, defensive tackle, Michigan. They are churning these guys out, whether it's Mozzie Smith or 3 of the guys that got drafted this year. This is the best position that Michigan has year in and year out. They have dominated along the defensive line. Mason Graham might be the best of all of them. He's back to wreak havoc on the Big Ten. We'll see if they can get back in the playoff, given the wholesale changes that they have across the board in that roster, including the head coach and Sharon Moore. But Mason Graham is not going to be a problem for the Wolverines this year. This dude gets after the running game like nobody else in the country, plus gets after the passer as well. If you remember in the playoff, the big stop on a 4th down that flipped the game back for Michigan to get them into the championship, that was 55 right here, Mason Graham. Number 2, one of the cover boys, Travis Hunter of Colorado. Cornerback, wide receiver, not sure where his future lies in the NFL, but let's not get there yet. There's no doubt. Look, he may not be the top cornerback, and he's not the top wide receiver by any stretch of the imagination, but he's really elite at both positions and gives Colorado a true weapon on either side of the ball. And if they are going to get better this year, it's going to be because we see more of Travis Hunter. Remember, he was injured for a good stretch of the season last year. Now, I don't know how much of a difference he makes in that last year of the Pac-12 because their schedule was so tough, but Travis Hunter is definitely one of the best players in the country and coming back to play for Coach Prime. And number 1, this is the guy who is the best player in the country coming back, in my opinion, Luther Burden, wide receiver at Mizzou. This guy can do it all and will be a menace two defenses in the SEC. Brady Cook, his quarterback, is back. That's another year of the two of them being in rhythm together. Expect to see a lot more from Luther Burden. They made some moves in the running back transfer portal as well to help that Mizzou offense continue to be as good as it was last year. I think another year with all these guys together only means more numbers for Mizzou, even if the record may not reflect it, because, again, it's the SEC. Every year is different, and every year is tough. But Luther Burden, the number one player coming back in the country at Mizzou, you cannot mess with this guy. He is really, really elite and probably be a top 5 pick in next year's draft, given everything he can do, even though stereotypically he's not a big dude. He's about 5'11", 205, one of the smaller receivers. He's not a Justin Jefferson type body-wise, but he's a playmaker all over the field. That's going to do it for us. Craig and I are going to wrap it up right now.